The first Thanksgiving I remember was in 1947 in Beverly Hills. Given the chill in the air, it might as well have been the North Pole. A month before, the House Un-American Activities Committee had accused my father and 19 other progressive screenwriters and directors of being communists and traitors. Since then, Warner Brothers had refused to renew my father's contract, and no one was calling with work. He'd been blacklisted, and knew he'd never see another paycheck unless he cooperated with the committee, recanted his views, and informed on all his friends. Instead, that Thanksgiving, he invited them all to a feast, with 2 turkeys, tons of trimmings, and a small fortune in fine wine and liqueur. I remember how noisy the grown-ups were that day, their jeers at the committee, their cheers of support for the 19 blacklisted men. And through it all, my father, lifting everyone's spirits, sweeping up the ladies in a tango, and at dessert gracefully jiggling a chocolate pudding on his palm, a display that not only confirmed his reputation for irreverence, but concealed the fatigue and chest pain that had been troubling him for weeks. It was quite a performance, for all of them. For beneath the hilarity lay silence and fear. 19 of them had already lost their livings for having the wrong political ideas. Who would be next? And how well would any of them hold up to the hard realities of being jobless in Hollywood, or the soft persuasions of the committee that all you had to do to clear your name was call someone else a Red? When you think of it, it was a classic American Thanksgiving, a gathering in a wilderness with a common determination to ride out the winter together.
Are you a member of the Communist Party? Or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
I now know what no one knew then, that the winter of that Cold War would last over 20 years, that it would blanket not just Hollywood, but the entire country in denunciations and fear, and that the group gathered around our table that Thanksgiving would soon fall apart. To escape persecution, some like us would flee the country, some would stay and try to make a living under another name, some would capitulate to the committee, and in a desperate attempt to save their names, drag someone else's through the dirt. Over 40 Thanksgivings have come and gone since then, and have given me, if anything, an even greater feeling of poignancy for the impermanence of all our ties. Perhaps that's why every year my wife and I now try to welcome at least one new face to our Thanksgiving table, and to remember the family and friends no longer there. It's also why this Thanksgiving, the first my young son may remember, I plan to raise a special toast to my father, who, though he died blacklisted and with next to nothing in the bank, left me something that appreciates in value every year: the example of his unfailing good humor, his refusal to sell out his principles or his friends, and for a so-called un-American, that most American virtue, the courage, if conscience demanded, to stand alone.